Hi, I'm Cloud. Glad you're here. A short while ago, my life changed in a way I never saw coming. I was diagnosed with lung cancer. It still feels surreal to say that out loud. Not long ago, I was incredibly active, an avid runner, always moving, always planning the next goal. And then suddenly everything slowed down, and the future feels uncertain. This channel is my way of making sense of that shift. A place to chronicle the ups and downs and challenges of lung cancer. The fear, the hope, the setbacks, the small wins. My hope is that something here resonates with you. Here, we are surviving. No, thriving with cancer. Hey, we don't have to be alone in this. Finally, I truly pray that someday soon I can run again. If you could choose between removing a piece of your body or aiming an invisible energy at it, which would you trust to save your life? For me, that's not just an academic question. It is something I have had to deal with since I was told I had lung cancer. For some background and context, I am 49 years old. I run. I lift most of my lifetime. I understand anatomy, physiology, healing, and rehab. I am a husband who wants to grow old with his wife. A father who still has many miles to run with his daughter. And yet, despite all that strength and knowledge, cancer has forced me to face a brutal reality. Sometimes survival means choosing between two imperfect paths, two difficult choices. I guess being stuck in between a rock and a hard place, they say. I either do radiation therapy or lung lobectomy. Those were my two choices that my surgeon gave me. The way he described it to me, he said that radiation therapy is an elegant solution. It is precise, and modern radiation, SBRT, IMRT, can target cancer cells with a millimeter accuracy, he said. It offers a promise that sounds almost miraculous, to treat the tumor without opening the chest, without removing any of my lung tissue, and without the immediate trauma of surgery. I suppose for many patients, especially those who are medically fragile or have limited pulmonary reserve, radiation therapy is a good choice. It's not a compromise, it is a lifeline. It preserves structure, it respects boundaries. It says we can fight this without taking something away from you, in a nutshell. From a rehab standpoint, and this is my field now because I am a physical therapist, radiation appears gentler at first glance. There's no thoracotomy, there's no tubes, no chest tubes. No weeks of relearning how to breathe with the incentive spirometer, because of the surgical trauma. And for early stage tumors in carefully selected patients, radiation therapy can achieve local control rates that rival surgery. That matters, especially when the body is already exhausted from the fight. But radiation therapy also carries a quieter cost. The lung remembers. Fibrosis does not announce itself immediately. It stiffens tissue over time. It alters compliance. It can limit endurance in ways that don't show up on day one, but reveal themselves down the road, years later. When you try to run, climb, or simply take a deep breath. Radiation treats what it sees, but it also affects what surrounds it. The margin of safety is never zero. Really, it never is. Then, my second choice was lobectomy. remove a part of my lung, open my chest, put tubes in, cut me up. It is decisive. It is surgical. It does not negotiate with cancer. It takes it out. It removes it. And when I woke up, because, this is what I chose to do, after surgery, a piece of my lung was gone forever. That's it. Gone. Nada. There is no poetic way to soften that reality. But there is also something profoundly grounding about it. The tumor was no longer inside of me. It was not being targeted, suppressed, or monitored. It was gone, removed, excised. So from an oncologic perspective, lobectomy remains the gold standard. Everybody knows that. Everybody from the medical field sees that. And for many operable lung cancers, it provides clear margins, allows precise pathological staging, because right after the surgery, they'll remove the tissue and look it under the microscope. It answers questions radiation cannot. Was it fully contained? Did it spread microscopically? What exactly were we fighting? What kind of cancer exactly was it? That information shapes everything that follows. The chemotherapy, which I did, the targeted therapy, which I'm doing, and the long-term strategy for survival. As an formerly active individual who runs and lifts, and a rehabilitation specialist as well, I feared the functional loss more than the scar. I asked myself, who am I without that lung tissue, without that right lower lobe of my lung? Because it took away 25% of my lung volumes. Who am I if my VO2 max drops? And yes, it has dropped. I'm currently sitting at 35. I used to be much, much better than that. And if my stride shortens, if my identity as a strong, capable body disappears, those questions continue to haunt me far more than the incision. And truth be told, something unexpected happened. The body adapts, the human spirit adapts faster. Rehab became my proving ground. Hence this channel. Every breath was a lesson in humility. Every slow jog, slow walk, and you've seen me all these months, all these videos. They have all been an act of defiance. I learned that resilience is not about returning to who I was. It is about discovering who I can become with less than a part of my lung, and still choose to move forward. On the one hand, radiation therapy offers preservation. Lobectomy offers certainty. Radiation minimizes immediate trauma. Surgery maximizes long-term clarity. Radiation is often about control. Lobectomy is often about removal. Neither is inherently superior, because the best treatment is not just about survival curves and outcomes. It is about values as well, about physiology, about the life you can intend to live after cancer. Ultimately, for me, lobectomy was not just a medical question. It was a statement, a declaration that I was willing to lose something physical to gain something existential. Peace of mind. I'll say that one more time. Peace of mind. When chemotherapy followed, when the chemo port was placed, when I started on targeted therapy with alectinib, I did not feel like I was reacting anymore. I felt like I was advancing. Both of these treatment tools are powerful ones, but they do not define the outcome alone. The outcome is shaped by what you do after the decision, how you rehabilitate, how you move, how you nourish your body, and how you frame your identity. Finally, which is better, radiation or lobectomy? I say the better treatment is the one that allows you to look at your future without fear. The one that aligns with your physiology, your goals and your will to fight. the one that transforms you from a patient into a participant in your own healing. I am not defined by the lung I have lost. I am defined by the breath I still choose to take, deep, intentional, and forward moving. For me, this is what works. So wherever you are, however you're doing tonight, I pray you're doing great.